Hi again, everyone. It's Colin. I thought I'd throw a little instructional video out for you on a bit about how I use a capo when I'm playing my acoustic guitar. If you don't have a capo, I strongly recommend you go out and get one because there's a lot of things you can do with it that sometimes make guitar playing easier or more interesting. And there's some things you can do with it that are just it's kind of difficult otherwise to do. I mean, when you look up tabs on the internet or look up chords on the internet, very often you'll see, put a capo on whatever, the fourth fret, and so you put your capo on the fourth fret, and then it'll tell you to play a G chord, and so there you go. All right, no big deal. But what's really going on there? If you've got a capo on the fourth fret and you're playing a G shape chord, that root note right there is actually on the seventh fret of the fretboard on the low E string, which is a B note. So this is actually a B chord, but with a G chord shape. Okay, so it's a way of sort of playing chords with different shapes that than you might otherwise have, right? Because if you wanted to play a B chord, you'd have to do maybe a bar chord on the B there or a bar chord up there. But by putting the capo on 4, I can do a G shape, which gives it a different sound, a different tone, but it's still a B chord. So one of the ways that I've used it in the past is I find songs, for example, that are in like a difficult key or something. It's got something about it that makes it hard, and you can move the capo to find a place to make it a little bit easier to play. So if something is in like E flat, right? Like you've got a piano song or something that you want to play that's in E flat. So you can play E flat bar chords kind of thing and do that. But if I put a capo, for example, on the first fret, my D shape chord now is in E flat because I've gone up a half tone. So I've gone from D up to E flat. So now I can play with the D and A chords before where I was playing with E flat and A flat, and the only way to do them was to get a bar chord on. Bar chords is not something you're happy with or comfortable with. Bar chords are very important, right? But depending on the sound you want or what you're trying to do, you can use a capo to make it a little bit easier or to make it sound a little bit different. Another way is when you're playing with somebody. Let's just say a friend, you're with a friend and somebody's just playing something in A, right? So A, D, and E, just playing along A, D, and E, right? And you want to put something in that doesn't sound exactly the same. You can say, okay, well, I'm going to put a capo on the second fret, so now to play an A, which is my A root note there, I need to make a G shape. To play a D, right, my D note, second fret there is in now a C shape, and E is what was the D shape, now this is an E chord. So I'm still playing A, D, and E, same as I was before, but now you can do things like arpeggiate open chords and play with some of those open scales and hammer-ons and things that you might not have a chance to. So it's a way it's a way. First of all, it helps you understand how chords work. It helps you understand how notes work, right? Moving from a D to an E, for example, going up to a step, going up 2 notes from D sharp, E flat to E, right? Just to make that transition, and opens it up for you. So in addition to finding chords on the internet and a song will say, oh, put a capo on this chord and play it to make it sound the same, you can use a capo to experiment with different things, to try and make certain songs sound different or to make it easier to play. And then the other thing, probably the one thing I use it for the most is acoustifying other songs, right? So if you take a rock song that you want to learn and you want to just play it simply and acoustically, sometimes finding a capo spot on your guitar to play it in a different spot makes it sound really, really interesting. So that's just a couple of tips on how I use my capo, and if you don't have one, like I said, they're pretty inexpensive, and get one and play around with it, and you'll have a lot of fun with that. Cheers.